Hello everyone, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. From past few weeks, you have been hearing the news about Russia and Ukraine conflict. In this context, we have made a video on the advantages that USA is getting because of this conflict. It is also titled as the win-win situation for the America. In this video, we will see how China would benefit from this invasion and also what is the depth of China and Russian relationship and why has Russia abstained from voting in United Nations Security Council and what will be the implications of this and can we predict some future. We will also predict some future in our neighborhood when it comes to the Indo-Pacific region and also South China Sea, and we will see how such an invasion by Russia on Ukraine will be an example or a precursor to a larger invasion in Indo-Pacific. Let's begin. The context, you can see here, China's takeaway from the war. This is an article that is in the Hindu newspaper today. See, unsettled by Ukraine, didn't expect Russian difficulties. See, these headings in the newspaper, that is the international newspaper or the national newspaper as such, will give a greater idea about what the world is thinking about a particular issue. Okay, so let's start. United Nations Security Council, voting and China. And you all know that India abstained from voting against the United Nations Security Council resolution which named Russia for its invasion on Ukraine. Similarly, China also abstained from voting against Russia in UNSC when a resolution was moved last week. Even in 2014, during the Crimean annexation, China maintained a neutral stance. So, by these two things, one thing that we can conclude is Russia and China have a very strong relationship or a very deep relationship as such. And why did China take this decision? Why did China abstain from voting? And one of the main reasons, there might be many reasons, but one of the main reasons that is stated is the domestic politics. What is with respect to domestic politics? In the late 2022, second half of 2022, the 20th National Party Congress of Chinese Communist Party or Communist Party of China for that matter will hold a meeting. And this is important. This event is very important for the domestic polity of China because it is in this conference that the present Chinese president is planning to extend his tenure. Or if the anti-incumbency wave is formed by then there will be a new president that is being elected. So this is a very important event that is happening in the domestic politics of China. So in this issue, the Chinese president do not want any kind of negative external environment and recognition of China's role in the world. He do not want any kind of negative externalities in the world. And were there any back channel talks between Russia and China so that which have prompted China in order to abstain from voting? And there are the issues, this issue is particularly being widely discussed. It is said that the Russian president would have consulted the Chinese counterpart before the invasion, and it is also widely said that the Russian president would have said to halt any kind of invasion till the Winter Olympics is over. But such a request was not listened, such a request was not entertained, and now we have the full-fledged invasion of Russia on Ukraine. It is also said that Chinese counterpart wanted to halt the Russian invasion only to Donbas region, which is very well in news. Donbas region, he wanted to halt the Russian invasion only to Donbas region. But the Ukrainian capital, that is Kiev, is on the verge of falling into the hands of Russian military. And what is the depth of China and Russian relationship? China and Russia have a treaty of good neighborliness and friendly cooperation. We have seen because of the abstinence of China in UNSC voting, we can predict that they would have had a very strong relationship. But these are some of the examples in order to justify that particular statement. Here you can see treaty of good neighborliness and friendly cooperation that is present between Russia and China. Russia claimed that the Russia-Chinese coordination or the cooperation plays a stabilizing role in world affairs, which means the West, that is particularly USA, is talking about unipolar world. From 1945 to 1991, we had bipolar world, that is USA and USSR dominating the world politics. From 1991 to 2022, it was dominated by USA, and USA acted in a very decisive manner. And now, because of the good neighborliness and the friendly cooperation between China and Russia, these countries can have a multipolar world. Russia opened its doors for Chinese investment, and now China has $400 billion deal with respect to Russian state monopoly gas exporter, and because of this, China can have Russian gas flowing through the pipeline for the next 30 years. Earlier in January 2022, the two countries signed a deal for another pipeline, that is Power of Siberia 2, okay, which will supply gas for next 30 years to China. You all know the Russian contribution to oil and gas, the world oil and gas, is 12%. The Russian contribution to the global oil and gas production is 12%. But when it comes to Europe, 40% of the energy demand in Europe is met by the Russian exports. Okay, this is a very important key player. Russia is a very key player when it comes to the global oil and gas market. This is the reason why you can see before the invasion, the oil market, oil prices were around $80 per barrel. Now it has skyrocketed. It has almost touched $140 per barrel. This is an impact that one of the major contributor to the supply, that is Russia, can play in the world. Since 2016, trade between the two countries has gone from $50 billion and it has now reached $147 billion. That is almost $150 billion per year is the trade that is happening between Russia and China. China is now Russia's largest trading partner. This is also because of the sanctions that would be put by the West on Russia because of the invasion. You all are aware of SWIFT. You all are aware of something called as SWIFT banking transactions. If you have not watched the video, we have a video on SWIFT. Please watch it and then let's continue. Because of the SWIFT sanctions and also sanctions that will be put by because of the trade and investment, then China will emerge as a greater partner with respect to Russia. Geopolitical connect. You can see here, this is a part A, point A, and this is a point B. Point A and point B will show the borders with respect to Russia and China. So Russia and China are neighbors and they share borders. What are the strategic outcomes for China from this conflict? What are the strategic outcomes? Western concern would shift towards Ukraine and Russia. Western concern would shift towards Ukraine and Russia. Then, now you might think, where is the Western concern as of now? The Western concern as of now is in Indo-Pacific. Indo-Pacific. This is where the USA is targeting its attention. That is the formation of Quad and AUKUS. Okay, this is what is happening in Indo-Pacific. From Indo-Pacific, the Western concern, that is the concern of United States of America, would shift towards Ukraine and Russia. And how will this benefit China? This would benefit China because China is planning to assert its dominance in Indo-Pacific and Indian Ocean. Okay, it is widely said that the one who controls Indian Ocean would control the world, because Indian Ocean is a transit route for almost more than 50% of the world's goods and trade. This is the reason why China is coming up with something called as string of pearls, for that matter, string of pearls, and it also is constructing artificial islands in South China Sea in order to have its dominance in Indo-Pacific and the Indian Ocean. Shifting the Western concerns away from Indian Ocean is something that is crucial for China, and this is happening without the Chinese efforts, and this is a blessing in disguise for China. USA has already named China and Russia as serious adversaries. As USA has already named China as one of the adversary, then China should not have, or China does not have anything to fear for. Okay, when you don't have anything to lose, you only think about your gain. That is what China is doing as of now. China can assert its claims in South China Sea and Indian Ocean. We have discussed this, and this would reduce the importance of Quad. See, there are 4 Quad countries. Quad countries are USA, Japan, Australia, and India. These are the 4 Quad countries. Out of these 4 Quad countries, USA is something that will play a crucial role. If USA's position is weakened or USA's concentration is shifted away from the Quad, then it will benefit China. This is the map of Indo-Pacific. You might be thinking, what is the term Indo-Pacific that you are hearing for the first time? Indo-Pacific is a geographical area that stretches from Indian Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, that is the western coast of South America and North America and the eastern coast of India. This is a geographical term, and here you can see South China Sea, and this will also contribute to Chinese violation of human rights in Xinjiang province. In Xinjiang province, there are a minority community called Uyghur Muslims. This is a Xinjiang province, and Uyghur Muslims are the residents of Xinjiang province. In this Xinjiang province, it is said that China is carrying out ethnic cleansing, which is also called as genocide for that matter. Okay, when this human right violation is happening in Xinjiang province and the Western concentration or the Western media houses are shifted towards the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, China can easily have its racial dominance and carry out more violence or human right violations in Xinjiang province. What are the tactic lessons that China can learn from this particular conflict? First one would be the military template used by Russia. What is the kind of military template that Russia used? You can recall from last few months, that is from the month of November, Russia first started with shelling of weaponry across the border. Along the Russian border, Russia planted heavy weaponry and armed men, and all over the world, media houses said that this is a regular military exercise that is happening across the border and nothing great about it. But one day, 14 days back for that matter to be precise, Russia invaded Ukraine with the heavy arms. This is the military template that China can imitate with respect to Hong Kong, Taiwan, and also Arunachal Pradesh. Second one, the way Russian president is creating deterrence with respect to nuclear weapons. The Russian president has said that in order to keep his nuclear arsenal ready, okay, he has kept it on high alert. Okay, this is acting as a deterrence for the Western players, in order to carry out any kind of military attack against Russia. The nuclear warheads are acting as a deterrence, and this is the reason why the Europe and the North America are skeptical about sending their men, else it would have become a nuclear conflict. Third one, possible sanctions that would be put on China. Now you all are aware of the sanctions, that is trade sanctions, travel sanctions, and also SWIFT sanctions that is happening. Trade, travel, and swift banking sanctions that are being put on Russia from the West. So China can learn from all this and can be prepared in order to deal with these sanctions. China can very well predict the responses of individual countries, make use of veto in United Nations Security Council. Russia voted against its own resolution, okay, the resolution which was against the Russian invasion. Russia exercised its veto power. Similarly, in future years, whenever there is a resolution that is against China or any Chinese invasion for that matter, China can easily use its veto and defeat the resolution. Can the future be predicted when it comes to Indo-Pacific? Can the future be predicted? Here you can see this is the symbol. This is a symbol of China, and these are the leaders of 4 Quad countries. Quad countries, when this particular Quad grouping is said by China as an Asian NATO for that matter, Asian NATO, which is a military alliance which is trying to expand or curb Chinese influence. In this matter, if Quad and China comes to a conflict in Indo-Pacific or South China Sea, will China use the same mechanism that was used by Russia? Second one, we have something called as AUKUS, and these two can become possible adversaries and cause the China and the world conflict. AUKUS refers to Australia, UK and US. The objective of this particular grouping is the USA and UK are trying to provide the nuclear submarines to Australia so that the security is being provided or the freedom of navigation is protected. I hope you have liked the video. For more such enriching content, please subscribe to Legacy IAS Academy. Have a nice day. Thank you.